Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick.
Gyrocopter!
Radiant team pick.
Shadow Fiend! Shaker.
Dire team pick.
Dusker.
Dire team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Dazzle.
Dire team pick.
Night Stalker.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Hello guys, welcome back. We've got our second series of the day coming up right here, right now. I'm Durka in the JD Studios. We've had a pretty eventful day. I'm here. We'll switch over to the draft, find out what we're dealing with, because the two monkeys, they're going to go at it. Monkey Freedom Fighters against Monkey Business. This is the defense, of course, and fingers crossed I can hear my co-caster through in-game. Scant, are you there?
Dire team pick.
Okay. This may not work. Let's see. That should be fine.
Silencer.
That should be good.
Radiant team ban.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. But yeah, draft has progressed pretty nicely. Wisp, Lena, Huskar, AM all banned out, obviously, against Monkey Business. The Huskar and Anti-Mage specifically against Miracle. But Leshrak, Bounty, Quap, and TA against Monkey Freedom Fighters.
5 seconds remaining.
Let's see if I can head myself over here. Storm Spirit. The final ban. Monkey Business pretty much know that Freedom Fighters are looking for a mid lane hero. I mean, that answer could still be towards mid, though. Tusk and Night Stalker, they do often fulfill some very similar roles. Interesting.
Reserve time.
One of them is going to be off lane, and one is going to be 4 roll. Not quite sure where. The Silence of 5 roll, I'm not too sure about either, which is why I'm actually wondering if he heads towards the middle lane and they have Tusk and Night Stalker roaming on to help them out. Oi, oi, oi. I should be able to hear him. I should be able to hear him. Nope, I've turned off. Let's just try turning it on and off again. Right, try now? No, this may not work. I might have to go solo unless once we get past the draft it suddenly decides to kick in. But fucking mad, Paris, Soshka, of course, Sing Sing, Yapzor, and too late now. Over on the Monkey Freedom Fighters. They're all tagged up. Soshka, the only one without a tag. What's happened? What's going on?
Reserve time.
One roll hero for Monkey Business here. Ember Spirit kind of comes to mind. I don't know if they'll go for the Tiny, which they have liked to play even without the Wisp. And there's no Phantom Lance, there's no Anti-Mage. Miracle Shadow Fiend is usually what they go for. I think No-Tail is going to be heading down to the bot lane to play the safe lane carry, and this is something great from them. They can actually switch things up a lot. Oh, okay. They go with the Clinks. So I think it's going to be Miracle on the Shadow Fiend mid, and then Clinks for No-Tail down at bot lane. And this hero against the Global Silence, you know, his Searing Arrow is not going to work. He's going to be able to tank through a lot of the damage. But if you put him up against the Gyrocopter, I guess he can tank through a decent chunk of that Rocket Barrage. You got the Dazzle to heal and Grave, Nagasaran to reset.
10 seconds remaining.
But it's a lot of disruption. Monkey Business have a lot of disruption, especially during the lane. Let's take a Fisher for the off-lane Nagasaran with Riptide to try and zone out their mid laner. Which is why this Nagasaran has seen a lot of sort of acceleration in where she gets picked. She can run towards that opponent mid and really make their life a living hell. You give Shadow Fiend basically a full free wave at the start. He gets his souls racked up, and from there on out, it's, you know, pretty good lane. Final pick, Monkey Freedom Fighters. What are you thinking of? What are you thinking of? Gyro safe. Do they go aggro here? Like Silencer mid, Night Stalker Tusk +1 off lane. I guess not. The double melee off lane is not going to be particularly great, and the Wind Ranger is the final pick. So I'm assuming Silencer is going to be put in that support role, yeah, and Wind Ranger towards middle lane. Off lane Tusk with a Night Stalker running around supporting as well. So Monkey Freedom Fight is very, very aggressive early game, and definitely early laning stage draft. But Monkey Business, I was already talking about the disruption that they can bring. Mic muted. Please no. It's fine. No trolling, please. Right, Scant, can you try talking now? I should be able to hear you, but I cannot. So, he's speaking all the time, apparently. Oh, well. Oh, God. No, caps, hotkeys. There we go. Last hits and denies. That's what I want. That's what I want. Oh, and his XSplit. Really. Oh, today has been a day. Today has been a day. I cannot click on XSplit to switch it over to the game screen. No. Please. Please. Well, I guess I guess that's staying that way. So, Radiant side, what have we got? Moon Meander, Earthshaker off lane. We've seen him do great things on this before. Baiting people in, getting kills under towers with Fissure and Aftershock. And what is it, Miracle? Yeah, Shadow Fiend middle lane. Fly with a Dazzle, going to be supporting around. And Crit Naga. So you can secure this mid lane a little more CS than maybe normal. But down a bot is Big Daddy No Tail. Over on that Bone Fletcher, the Clinks. Sing. Boots first on your Tusk, looking for the bot rune. Yapzor, the support Night Stalker. Boots first also. Just everyone buy Boots. Too late now. Oh, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you now. Oh god, that is super quiet though. Let me turn this up for myself. I can hear you.
I
Excellent.
exist.
Right. Sweet. My co-caster Scant is here. We're doing it. Except XSplit has crashed.
Alright.
This has been honestly like I don't know. There are no words to explain how this day has gone. We just had Skype going down, technical issues, Steam being awful, delays of games.
You know what I did? I mean, I literally just reset audio defaults, then manually set to all the exact settings I had, and then it worked.
Awesome. Thanks, Reborn. That's exactly what we wanted. But yeah, the draft ended. I loved your input. Was pretty good actually. We enjoyed that a lot. What do you think about the lanes? What do you think about these lanes? Night Stalker supporting.
Yeah, well, support Night Stalker was trending a couple of months back and then just kind of disappeared completely. We didn't really see it happening at the international match. I've been seeing it drifting in and out here and there for a few teams recently. I think it's a pretty greedy pick as a support, mostly because a lot of the teams are picking very greedy cores at the moment. But Monkey Freedom Fighters don't really have that. So Gyrocopter is quite a greedy core. He wants a lot of farm, but at the same time he can be active early. Wind Ranger actually may be more greedy than Gyrocopter because even though it's active early, it wants to farm a few key items before it gets truly involved. So I think the support Night Stalker is pretty cool. It's always just interesting to see if it can make anything happen early on. He's got those boots. He has 1 point in Void, and he's trying to make something happen. I don't know how much he gets out of this though, except just annoying Dazzle.
He's just running between mid and jungle, back and forth. No idea where he's going. But Yapzor with level 1 Void. Just trying to disrupt things a little bit here. Fly stacking away over in the Radiant jungle. Crit doing the same thing. So Monkey Business getting a lot more value actually on the map here. Just want to keep my eye on chat in case you're too quiet or something like that. And then I have to turn you up.
Yeah, it would suck if we could hear each other, but no one else could hear me or us or something like that.
That would be super fun as well. Yeah, because I could definitely see that happening. You know. Just something changes, like in the other studio. Whatever. Yapzor, he's got his 2 illusions, actually hammering away at crit here. Do you think Yapzor should go for an Orb of Venom, or I don't know, maybe a poor man, a Stout Shield or something like that, just to play more aggressively? Do you want the Bottle Rush from the Night Stalker running around? Like, it's difficult to actually pinpoint an item build for support Night Stalker, right?
Yeah, I think if things go well, he might rush that bottle in. If it go badly, you might just see him buying wards or a wand or something like that. A Stout Shield feels like an indulgence to me. Maybe an Orb of Venom. Stout Shield is kind of like anti-harass. If he gets some lane time, maybe, I wouldn't be surprised. And he is getting that lane time now. Sharing the XP while Tusk is headed to base. But just because I didn't get to speak during the draft, I think Clinks is a ridiculously strong hero if it's well utilized. And teams that utilize it well, for example, EG, Fear, who really likes to play it, have really shown that in the recent past, that the hero is magnificently powerful. It's not that old school Clinks that we usually see with the hard farming into Orchid before running around ganking. It's usually a more active Clinks early on, which once it has a couple items, maybe a Soaring, Treads, Medallion, just goes around making space and then does farming occasionally in between, but puts that pressure super early in the game. And I have a feeling, I haven't watched No-Tail play it before, but I have a feeling it kind of suits his playstyle, because that is how he's been playing in Monkey Business. He's been playing these heroes that can be greedy, but trying to be active with them early and then going back onto the farm afterwards.
Yeah, we saw it
mid lane, Miracle's in trouble.
Oh, he really is. Good shout there as the Wind Ranger with the help of Sing Sing on that Tusk. really get up in his face. And yeah, this Clinks is what we saw from Fear at ESL1 Frankfurt. He was running around 6 or 7 minutes in, like that early on, looking for kills, looking for the ganks, and then he'd basically go sit in the enemy jungle. He'd go and farm neutral camps and, you know, build up his net worth, but at the same time, the fear factor, literally, from that Clinks being off the map, you never know where he's gone. He could jump out at any moment.
And Notel's already done something interesting on Clinks. He's got 2-2-1 as his build, which I think 1-3-1 is much more common. Using those Searing Arrows early. I suppose once you get to a certain point, the extra damage on Searing Arrows is not that important. The question here is why he feels that the extra points in Strafe is all that valuable early on, and I'm not too sure about it. To be honest, I usually, if there's a Clinks diverging from the normal build, it's usually to get extra points in Windwalk, not in Strafe. That extra movement speed and low cooldown.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, the cooldown doesn't
damage
change much.
Oh, mid lane Miracle caught again. The DD room for the Wind Ranger, but that shards out from Sing Sing. Monkey Freedom Fighters find themselves a pretty good lead towards this middle lane. I mean, sure enough, Miracle has these camps stacked up and he can go back to farm them, but Fly has been dedicating his life to this. He's been stacking camps non-stop. And the Shadow Fiend, you know, we talk about SF being able to come back into the game, but ideally, obviously, you never want to. You want those stacks to be able to create a gap between yourself and the opponent mid laner. You don't want to be using it to catch up to a Wind Ranger.
I'm trying to find a way to increase the volume on my microphone because I've just been messaged by a few people saying I'm still pretty soft.
Yeah, I turned you up as far as it can go, and if it's still too quiet on stream, then we might have to just go with me alone, unless you can boost yourself super loud. But then,
I've been told by one person that it's fine, and by another person that I'm very soft. So I'm not too sure actually.
It depends how long ago the person that told you were software was, because that was like almost 2 minutes ago exactly that I changed the audio. Yapsaw, oh that's it, he's dead with the end snare, Riptide, and damage out of No Tail. Poor little Night Stalker. He's a scary beast, but holy crap! Even with your 7 armor, you still get ripped to shreds.
Yeah, and that's not the start that a support Night Stalker wants, although I guess it's better than if he's a core Night Stalker. It's less of a loss to the team, he's still that support. And this is a, what is that, a Wraithband what's going on with No-Tail? Wraithband recipe, circlets, oh he's just going for the courier to fetch that, finish off the recipe, get his Ring of Aquila.
Yeah. The courier flies all the way to the east. They want Miracle again mid lane.
Miracle.
Sing Sing. In there with the shards and snowball. Grave is available, but Miracle still drops. Fly doesn't get it off in time, and now his life is in danger as well with a shackle. And that hits out. This aggressive play from Night Stalker and Tusk. They are really pounding this middle lane.
So we didn't get to talk about it during the draft, but coming into this match, you expect Monkey Business to be very big favorites. They've been on hot form. They've beaten a lot of teams. They've already won one qualifier. Monkey Freedom Fighters have actually been struggling, and so the dynamic is maybe a bit surprising for Monkey Freedom Fighters to be the ones with the aggression, making the kills early on, and they certainly seem to be trying to focus Miracle. 0-3 on the Shadow Fiend, as Sing Sing actually gets a kill at the top lane, but Shadow Fiend is a very interesting hero to try shut down. I always say this when I cast people trying to shut down Shadow Fiends. He's going to get his farm. If at any point you stop killing him, he will catch up. Just give him a few minutes and he's going to move into the jungle, farm a bunch of waves, farm a bunch of lane creeps, and all of a sudden he's back to where he would have been anyway. So it can be a bit misleading. I mean, look at the last hits. He has the most last hits in the game. He's 0-3, but he's got the creep score anyway.
That's Wind Ranger though, 1,000 gold on top of the phase boots and old talisman. Looking pretty hot, but No Tail does the exact thing we saw from Fear at ESL. Heads into the jungle. Oh god. Caps hotkeys. There we go. I wanted net worth. But yeah, goes into the jungle. You don't know where he is. Mid lane. Miracles. He dead again. It's a Grave at the last second. Turns around to fight up against Sing Sing. Raze finishes him off. And now the Wind Ranger tries the power shot. But is her life over? The Searing Arrows make sure it bloody well is. Great turnaround there. And that was all down to the last minute Grave from Fly.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, we start off with the aggression from Monkey Freedom Fighters. It looks like they're going a bit ahead with the kills. As I said, they're killing a Shadow Fiend, which is one of the better heroes at flash farming back into the game and making it seem like those deaths never happened. And then for Monkey Business to actually get those early kills, and for Kingston to now be wandering around the enemy jungle, exactly what you're describing, and At the moment, he actually has double damage. He's probably going to Soul Ring, use his ulti, and honestly, his team might start, you know, reversing the dynamic. And as I say that, the support Naga does go down the other side of the map. But we gotta watch this Klinks, because I feel like Klinks is the central hero on the map right now. If he can control the tempo of the game, if he can create that space and SF gets a little bit of time to farm back in, then Monkey Business are looking perfectly fine.
That's the thing, Gyrocopter, we always praise the hero and how much damage he can pump out with Rocket Barrage and early fighting potential from cooldown. But a lot of that is, you know, laning and team fight. You want people to group up for flat cannon damage and cooldown to land on their heads, and you want people to be singled out for the Rocket Barrage. The Klinks, though, is all-out single target. He chooses someone, he strafes on them, and he really does burn them down into the ground. If he can find the Gyro even from range, the Gyrocopter has to move his speed little butt away. And I think, you know, Soshka going for the face boots here, he knows he's going to be put under pressure. Try and escape things like the ensnare from Naga. And that Klinks hunting non-stop. Also, what No-Tail can do is stop pummeling into towers. The Searing Arrows working on towers, obviously giving you that extra bit of physical damage. You can take them down if they're left alone for a couple of seconds.
The one thing that looks pretty good for Monkey Freedom Fighters for me draft-wise is that Silence is going to hit level 6 soon. And it's going to be quite some time before Monkey Business have anything that dispels the Silence ulti. So if Monkey Freedom Fighters can force a fight under the protection of Global Silence, they're gonna look very, very powerful in that kind of fight early on.
Well, No-Tail is still... What has he bought? Medallion, right? Yeah, Medallion for the Klinks. Heading on over. And they have moved a bunch of heroes up here, mad even with a sentry down, to try and scout the movements out from him. Well, this support Night Stalker, you know, earn Magic Stick and now into the Brown Boots TP. He's hit level 6. So he's got that ulti available, but what is he here to accomplish? What is his role? Because early on, sure enough, he's running around, causing havoc, finding kills, finding assists. Later on, he's going to be about the vision with the Aghanim Scepter. But it's this weird like situation now, 10 to 25, 30 minutes in, whatever, that maybe he doesn't find a little niche to, you know, actually get the job done.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I think if they do get to force the early fights with the protection of the Global Silence, it will be Night Stalker who's still running ahead, even without Aghanim just giving that vision. And as I say this, he's going to find No-Tail. No-Tail's got a creep inside his belly though, so I don't think he's too worried. And looking for a kill, he's got Medallion ready, he's got Searing Arrows and Strafe ready, and he'll walk straight into Sentry Ward. He's in big trouble actually. Even with that creep inside him, they're gonna take him down.
He turns and fights! And at one point, it looked like maybe he finds a trade-off kill, but Klinks, that Sentry Ward from Mad, perfect. Knowing that the Klinks is going to be lurking somewhere nearby. Oh, Sing Sing coming in with... You know, Sing Sing has been an integral part in this early laning stage out from Freedom Fighters, honestly. With the snowballs, the ganks towards mid, the kills across the board. He's 2-1 and 5. He has been a part of every single kill here from the Dire.
What did I say about Shadow Fiend? Look at Miracle. A few minutes ago, he was almost 2,000 gold behind Gyrocopter, and
he's ahead.
He's first. I mean, Klinks wasn't making the kills, but he still created the space, and Miracle is a good Shadow Fiend, by the way. I don't know if you've seen, there's a few video compilations of his plays, and there's one that starts them playing Shadow Fiend, and it's phenomenal. This isn't me being biased, the guy is just like ridiculously mechanically skilled. If there's like small nuanced little mechanical plays that you expect to see from a top player, he's the guy to look for them from, like the technical blink raises or blink turn raises, or I saw him make a play even once where he predicted where a Queen of Pain would blink away from him, blinked at the same time, started his ulti, and she kind of blinked into it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's gonna buy blink this game, but yeah, exactly. The point is, if he does get ahead on that farm, he's gonna use the farm well. You can basically guarantee it.
Well, we often look at Shadow Fiends and say 12-minute mech, right? With the Treads and Ring of Aquila, 12-minute mech, good timing. He died 3 times and has a pretty much 12.5-minute mech. This guy is on the money. So Miracle with the stacks built up by Fly, you know, we can't have the situation without the Dazzle actually stacking up for him. So Fly played a pretty big part in that. The Wind Ranger now sitting on 5,600. You know, still looking hot. But 3 heroes behind the Wind Ranger. They're going to smoke up here. Yapzor, yep, with Sokshka. They want to go and fight.
Radiant's
Who are they gonna
Reminds me a
find?
bit of Sumail, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
the comparison's obviously going to happen over and over, but remember TI when he was just feeding early on at Storm Spirit and then got like the fastest Orchid of the tournaments? Similar kind of thing. Obviously your team helps out at the stacks, but it takes a certain level of confidence and control to not tilt, to stay focused, just get that farm up, and he's not just caught up now, he's breaking away actually.
That sudden acceleration, yeah, it's ridiculous. Now, the smoke there from the Dire was a little unfortunate. They went around to try and catch someone at bottom lane, but the pressure came towards mid. They all pretty much rotated 5-man towards the middle lane. Knowing they've got this mech, they have the upper hand here, because there is no similar sustain on the Dire. They have a global silence to reset the fight with, you know, Tusk and things like that. But there's Dazzle, Heal, Grave, and this mech. With a fish to start things off, the Shackle's not going to latch. The cooldown will slow them down, but that snowball's good. Beaver Knight Sing Sing gets that punch and takes down the Shadow Fiend. Well,
he didn't get the mech off. Just when I was just saying how mechanically clutch he is, and he actually doesn't get the mech off, and I think it's possible Miracle lives there if he gets the mech off.
Yeah, entirely possible. Because if you get the mech off, then Song comes through, and then the fight gets reset. You turn with a level 2 Requiem. That could have been catastrophic from 4 Monkey Freedom Fighters. But Soshka,
So
over on this gyro. Does he go into S and Y? Do you want the BKB from him? Like, what do you actually look for here on the gyro?
I think he maybe just goes S and Y. There's some fighting happening on in the mid lane. That's a dead Dazzle. I think he goes S and Y maybe because they have to know that they're banking on the Silencer ulti for value in the early fights, and BKB kind of shares the same purpose. If you expect them to win the fights during the global silence, the BKB is not going to be as valuable just yet. But at the same time, there's definitely an argument for BKB, because if you don't have the BKB and the global's down, Naga ulti, Shadow Fiend ulti, you're just going to get comboed hard.
That's the thing, though. Like, I feel there's more arguments against the BKB than there are. Like the reasons you've said, than the fact you can get singled out during the Naga ulti. If you do pop your BKB beforehand, they song, they ensnare, then they just, you know, right-click you down with the searing arrows from Clinks. I think that's another big reason not to go it. And then magic damage-wise, what, Earthshaker, Shadow Fiend. Everything else is pretty much physical. From Dazzle to the Riptide, the Weave, the right-click attacks. I think you can tank up.
I think you're pretty right. By the way, I was just watching that top lane, a very strange situation where Notail was trying to finish off the tier 1, and Paris comes in, casts cooldown, chases Notail away, the tower goes to about 4 HP.
He doesn't deny it.
And he doesn't deny it, and Notail just comes back and last hits it and TPs out.
I saw it as well.
It's a strange... I think Paris would be thinking to himself, I missed an easy deny there, and Notail probably feeling a little bit lucky.
Sometimes, you know, you're focused on the kill or forcing back the Clinks that, you know, you back yourself up. Forgot that it was in deny range, something along those lines. But mid, Notail, he is really eyeing up Mad here. Misses out on one searing arrow, but with the medallion, it'll be enough. Kills off the Silencer there.
Silencer is really like it's a perfect example of a hero that can't be alone on the map against an enemy Clinks. It will always die in that position.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
But what's the trade here? They get the tier 1 down the bottom lane. Can they defend tier 2 top? They glyph it up, but Crit's here with a song. And Miracle, he's running forward. He's got a haste rune. Forcing back Sing Sing just with his presence. And Notail, he sees him. The Clinks getting ready. Wind Ranger.
And this time they aren't sentries.
Oh, there's the song. Requiem, Miracle, wind it up onto Soshka. Here we go. Release the song, kill him. Oh, he doesn't really get that perfectly timed, but they've still got the damage. Miracle pounding into the gyrocopter with the haste still up. They'll heal up and get themselves away. The turn on the fight. Double raise available here for Miracle. Yep, just about, but he's silenced. Can't release it. And Crit will get stunned onto the tower. Miracle chased by the snowball. The shards will block him in, and the Death Requiem there because of the last word. I'm not sure Notail can really continue fighting this. He's dusted up. He's shackled up. And with a Grave, Fisher comes out from Moon. Great lockdown here as they turn to fight. Mad, one hit, down, out, and Wind Ranger follows shortly after. They lose their 2 cores, but Monkey Freedom Fighters lose 5.
Yeah, they kill the whole enemy team, definitely worth it. And to be honest, especially considering the fact that Notail was really low on mana and even HP quite early on in the fight, that's a very good trade for them. The Absol's TP'd back in, he wants to do something to save this tower. Dazzle and Earthshake have very low mana, so maybe this time they will be...
Nope.
No.
That was the cutest thing ever. Dazzle just like, hey, I'm gonna hit the tower. I'm gonna hit the tower. But he gets it in the end. And that's the Earthshaker's blink secured. 19 minutes. And we've come to expect this offlane Earthshakers with this Tranquil Soul Ring Blink Dagger build. 20 minutes is about the time.
What about Naga? You and I have talked about this a lot in the past. Look at Naga's gold. That's Crit got a lot of gold in that fight, just staying alive and being around all the kills. And we do see Nagas sometimes go for that Sacred Relic, that Radiance, and I've often been critical of it, saying that you actually want that utility out of your Naga, and well, he's actually bought a Perseverance. So that's a Lotus Orb that he's building into.
I guess. You could dispel global, right? I
wouldn't be sure.
Because Lotus Orb dispel, it's a pretty regular dispel. I'm pretty sure you can. So you can dispel a global and also return like Void and Shackle. Oh, Yabsaw reveals the smoke, and they don't have any dust on them, so they walk straight past. Sentry Ward's down, and they know exactly what's going on. But yeah, the fact that the Clinks has Medallion and will go Solar Crest, and then the Shadow Fiend has Mech, kind of shifts the Naga away from the regular items she goes. You know, Arcane's Mech or the Solar Crest. Maybe she can go for like a 4-staff Glimmer. Those were the items that came to mind when I realized that she had so much gold and really couldn't go for the other items. But Lotus Orb as a primary, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sold yet, but we'll find out.
It also could be a Linken's, which serves a pretty similar role. I want to say the Lotus Orb is usually better if it's between the two, because it can dispel something that's already been cast on you. But I'm just happy it's not Radiance. That's where I was going to lead with that discussion. I have this bias. I just generally don't like support Nagas going Radiance unless it's an absolutely desperate move. Just doesn't add enough to your team, takes too much space off the map, and can be ultimately very counterproductive.
Oh yeah, it chokes.
And he's bought the Lotus Orb recipe.
Yeah, it's definitely the Lotus Orb. And now, what is he, 800 gold away from the plate mail? Not too shabby, not too shabby. And Lotus Orb is that one item that supports or offlaners can buy that is seen as like pure luxury, because the components don't give you anything, right? Perseverance and plate mail are not valuable items. Notail pops his BKB to turn a fight, and Sing Sing, even with that Shadow Amulet from Mad, still drops low.
Yeah, you get some regen, you get some armor, sure, kind of useful, but you're never buying those items if you're not going for the Lotus Orb. So I agree, it's the ultimate luxury item for support, and it definitely shows that they're in a comfortable position in the game that he can rush it.
Oh, that's a big Fisher. Moon blinks forward. Doesn't lock anyone in though. And they don't have the chase. There's a tier 2 still down at bot that they can look towards, and Roshan is pinged out by the Freedom Fighters. The monkeys, I think they know what's going on with the other monkeys, but Notail and Miracle, they're not heading over to the pit. Maybe Notail will.
You know, there's actually a storyline in these two teams' names. It's not just that they're both called monkeys. It's kind of funny to me that the team who's expected to be better are the monkey business. You know, they're the man, the system, and fighting against them, the underdog is the monkey freedom fighters. Yeah, the rebellion. Just, you know, fighting for their rights as monkeys.
Che Guevara. Let's get it done. Oh.
And they're actually... the rebels have smoked into the rush pits, and they're not wasting any time about this. They've got their own medallion, they've got the Wind Ranger ulti with the Aghanim Scepter, and I think they succeed in stealing the rush here. I call it stealing because... I mean, they have no real right to be here if monkey business know they're here.
Right, 23 minutes. Aegis expires at 28. Fastest respawn is at 31. We have to do this now because the rush timer is bugged.
Just reborn things.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I fully agree with you. The Radiant were the ones in the dominant position looking to maybe control Roshan up, and Clinks, you know, he got the creep wave up to the tier 3, but right here, right now, with Windranger having Ags Aegis, Soshka having his BKB drums phase done, they can... Oh. What was on it? I can't select it because I'm on Cap's computer.
I am trying to... Why is it putting me on the
470
wrong
gold?
career?
Like, what even costs
I
470
can't
gold?
see. It must be
Yeah,
more than
sorry.
one item.
Yeah. I don't know. Magic Wand, maybe? Something... Like, how much does a Magic Wand cost? No, it's more than 470. I don't know. Well,
I mean,
we'll never find out.
Probably something pretty irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I'd agree with you. It's not like, you know,
So-
half a BKB or something.
Miracle's on his way to BKB. He's gonna get there reasonably soon. He just needs the recipe at this point, I think, and we've got a BKB already on No-Tail. We've got that Lotus Orb already up on crits, so the global silence that I was talking about earlier, being so scary in these fights, is already not going to be that scary. Even Dazzle has his own Glimmer Cape to glimmer himself up and just stand back during the global. So what do you actually achieve during your global silence if you're Monkey Freedom Fighters?
I guess you achieve the fact that Crit can't song. But who do you jump? Because Clinks can
Yeah,
BKB out of it. The Shadow Fiend nearly has his BKB as well.
Exactly, they need to actually kind of catch someone out as they global. If they global before they've started locking someone down, there's a good chance they just don't get any kills during the global, which is not good enough.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Dire's
Oh,
bottom
No-Tail.
tower is under attack.
They know he's there. They saw him with a sentry ward and he's walking straight past the rest of them. But they're not going to find him. There's another sentry here from Mad. I don't know where he'll place it. But No-Tail has just drawn the attention of 4 heroes all the way across the map, from mid all the way around. And sure enough, okay, they're defending bot tier 2 anyway. They've got to make the way over there. But still, he's causing a lot of havoc. He is a massive nuisance here. And, oh, Moon? Where did you blink onto? He's got his 4 staff as well, so even more mobility for your Earthshaker. And at this point, Monkey Freedom
The
Fighters.
game just helped us out.
Yep. It does
It's
that
just
from
coming
time to
back in 2
time.
minutes.
It does that from time to time. It's like, oh, you know I've screwed up a lot, and you know, here's a cookie. Small token of affection after years of hatred. No-Tail, after his
And what
BKB
is
medallion, he's saved up 3,600. I always expect Desolator out from the Clinks, but I'm unsure what he's building into now.
Well, No-Tail recently has been a big fan of Butterfly, but I don't think he could go for that, considering Gyro's already naturally building into an MKB. I think he gets something to do with damage, probably. Not a Desolator, then his own Daedalus or MKB. He could also, now that I see Tusk finishing their Solar Crest, it's not too bad to finish the Solar Crest, except again, it has that same problem of Gyro naturally building into the MKB already.
It was a Null Talisman over on the Courier. 470 gold. That's what it was. That's what it was. So yeah, completely irrelevant.
It probably is the only item that costs exactly that amount, right? Because Bracer and Wraithband are slightly different costs.
Oh, Windranger on the hunt here. Blink already used though, and the rest of Monkey Business on the retreat out. She's going to keep on chasing him though. She gonna find someone? Yeah, she's got the Shackle onto crit with the Focus Fire now. Weave is out. Oh goodness, Aegis gonna be expended. Oh, the Glimmer Cape keeps her alive. She runs herself back. And the Monkey Freedom Fighters, they found the jump. They wanted to, like, in that situation, surely you want to use the Aegis and the Shackle. How did that not latch? Somehow, didn't get itself done. And the Lotus Orb, the Snowball counter. Oh god, can he break? No, he can't. The Fisher means he can't drag him back. Miracle now is stunned up. Song to reset the fight in the Requiem. So global. Global's there. And Soshka comes in with a cooldown. Too late now. Turns back to focus fire down Miracle. Requiem wound up the blink. Echo Moon! He finds them in the middle of 3. Soshka turns with his BKB, but the Windranger already dead without the Aegis of the Immortal. And Gyro right click down into oblivion as No-Tail hunts Mad, hunts Gyro. The Glimmer Cape, last stand here, not available. As Monkey Freedom Fighters, they
It's-
lose 5 heroes for nothing.
They were just seriously trying to force the issue because they wanted to get value out of their Aegis, but not getting that value, Aegis running out, and then it all turns around on them and becomes a catastrophe. You really just need to have a... I mean, they had a good sense of, we have Aegis, we can get value, but maybe not the most acute sense of, this is our exit plan if it doesn't work. This is how much time we are allowing ourselves, and when it gets to, I don't know, 10 seconds before Aegis runs out, it's time to retreat. Also interesting the interaction between Lotus Orb and Snowball there, right? Because it seems like the second Snowball starts only when the first one hits. I thought it would have been when you target it. Like, that's how charge works, right?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I can't remember how homing missile works, but it's similar as well.
Tower is under attack.
It's a little bit weird. But yeah, Lotus Orb worked out there. It kept Miracle alive. The Fisher blocked off any real chance of Sing Sing to drag him back further. But Fly's Glimmer Cape, honestly.
I honestly think that's like an added reason to buy Lotus Orb specifically in this game, because it just is so good against the Tusk. Then Tusk cannot initiate on a hero with Lotus Orb on them. I mean, he helps them essentially. Tusk wants to say to his team, let's focus this guy first. If he has Lotus Orb on and you snowball into him, you're guaranteeing that that person can spend some time safe from you for their teammates to help.
Well, 15 to 11, but what are we looking at overall? Yeah, pretty massive lead there. Even with the Roshan taken, Monkey Freedom Fighters don't find themselves a ton of value. No Tail walks past 4 of them, but he knows where Paris... Oh, goodness. Soshka, do you die to this? No. No, you do not. And I've noticed this... I've noticed this like 3 or 4 times now. He doesn't auto-cast his Searing Arrows. He manually casts them, and he often misses out on hits.
Dire's bottom tower.
Well, I think that's a mistake. I mean, once you have high level strafe and a few attack speed, like your attack speed is so high that you're definitely losing out on hits if you're orb walking them. I also want to say could have positioned a bit better there to be between Gyrocopter and his likely escape route and maybe gets the kill there. Look, it's not often we get a chance to criticize No Tail, so I don't think it's that harsh for us to point out things he could improve when they do come up.
I mean, it's flipping perfect, mate. He's a flower. You can't criticize him. But yeah, I think he should, especially when you're going for kills, like not all the time, but right now he should have auto cast on. He's still going to get the kill, but I don't see a good reason not to. Like, mana conservation is perfectly fine with the Soul Ring Medallion. And this MKB up for No Tail. The Wind Ranger really doesn't stand a chance anymore. Wind Run does not give you the safety. That's the umbrella of healthiness. And now, the 2 lanes pushing in. Nagasaran splitting top. What has she got? Gem. Gem with the Lotus Orb and Arcanes. No Tail down at bot. The Snowball comes in. And they'll actually keep him on lockdown for a decent amount of time here. Moon can blink Echo. Still waiting for his time to shine. But Clinks is already dead. His Mega Streak actually taken away by the Silencer. Miracle Rex up. BKB's popped and stands his ground to fight up against Soshka. The Glimmer Cape's there, but the sentry's down, and now Moon again! Fisher blocked, Snowball to turn it back, blocked out and reversed by the Lotus Orb as Crit rips apart Sing Sing. All it takes is a shackle shot to really try and turn this fight around, but I don't have the damage anymore. With Gyro dead, their main source of damage output just gone. I've got to say, Moon Meander, though, this game has been exceptional on his Fisher timing.
Bottom tower.
Yeah, he's been great, and I don't know if you know, but I think he plays on pretty high ping as well on European servers, because he is playing from America, right?
He moved to Europe, but I believe, I'm not 100% sure, and that's just like from Twitter interactions and things like that. I believe he's in Israel with Fly, but I'm not 100%. But he definitely flew to Europe a week ago, because he posted that on Twitter. Fly, not shackled. I'm super confused how these shackles aren't latching. Like, sure enough, there's no trees here, but I've seen shackles just like fly a million miles onto trees over here somewhere before. I think we're just getting a little bit unlucky.
It's because Shackle is actually a product owned by the Monkey business, and therefore it doesn't comply with the Monkey Freedom Fighters demands.
Oh.
Doesn't work against its creator. Simple as that.
Okay. So he cannot latch shackles to trees. He can only latch it if he gets the super invis skill shot onto a hero behind. Mad.
Yeah, you have to really talk the shackle into it. And Meander does have his ulti up. I was wondering if he'd follow up that fissure with a blink, but deciding against it just for now.
Well, now he's waiting over in the trees.
I think Monkey Business just get a free rush when they want it.
Oh, Moon, Yule's onto
Gyrocopters.
Sochka. He's trying to bait out the BKB here like 100%, but Sochka not having an inch of it, with Miracle running forward up to the high ground. Interesting.
Doing the same thing. I mean, he has a haste rune, so also just like, let's see if I can bait an ulti or BKB or any kind of... Even if he baits a cooldown there, it's going to be great value. Or even Nightstalker ulti, I think, would be a good thing to bait out. But Monkey Freedom Fights is actually showing good control, not being baited at all. And I'm a little bit surprised that Monkey Business have not headed back to that rush pit yet. They're getting a good trade right now. They have Clinks and Shadow Fiend farming pretty far away from the siege, and actually their 3 support heroes just kind of like locking the enemy team into the base, so it's a good trade, but I think they could be getting the rush.
Well, they wasted Glyph here, and I say wasted. Clinks was down in bot lane just like pushing in, so I think that Monkey Business know that they can pressure this even further. They can have 4 heroes mid and 1 hero top, and the fact there's no glyph to defend one of these towers, it forces Monkey Freedom Fighters into basically a fight or flight situation. They have to fight or else they lose ranks. And it's not something you can give up. And Miracle and Notel, let's head back into the jungle. And maybe now they go into the rush pit.
It's interesting. It's almost like they realize like they're so far ahead, they can just relax and gain more lead, and they're just comfortable doing that. Why put themselves in any kind of risky position whatsoever?
Well, Mad was in a risky position. He dies. The gem's on the deck as well. Naga, double gem. There we go. Get 2 of them.
It's frustrating if you're Monkey Freedom Fighters being locked up in your base, and it's almost like more frustrating because the enemy team is not trying to push your high ground. You're almost like you've come to terms with the fact that they're ahead and you need to hold your high ground in a big fight, and they just refuse, and so eventually you just kind of, I guess you lose focus, you make mistakes.
Shackle onto Miracle, but the weave is up from Fly. The damage output here from Freedom Fighter is not going to be great. There's no tail. Thank you for the tower. He uses his BKB, but this is the situation I was mentioning. They go 4 mid, they go 1 on the side lanes, and they take a free tier 3. And now with no glyph, that's an open lane of racks that they can actually go in to take. With no gem over on the Dire, they need to sentry, they need to dust. That's why Mad the Silencer buys himself some more sentries. Meanwhile, middle lane, Miracle just stands there. He's got Grave behind him, he's got shackled up though. Now they see the Wind Ranger hits. But the Song of the Siren sends them all back to sleep, and Miracle walks it off. If they do push forward to try and contest this, there's even the Blink Echo Slam, no tail. Shackled. He's got no mana or cooldown here on his invis, so he will get brought down eventually. Just takes a matter of time. Question is, do Monkey Business want to continue fighting Moon? Prepping, looking for the opening. Wants the Blink Echo, now's his time. Blink in, jump and find it, gets 3. The damage output's good. Sochka, Mad, and Yapzor all on the retreat. And this might be 2 lanes of racks actually here with no buyback on your Wind Ranger or your Tusk.
And that's a ranged creep getting used by Meander. Probably not what he was aiming for, but they got the... Even after Clinks died, I feel like that was still a good trade for Monkey Business. And then they get a bunch more kills and maybe more here. Because no tail had gotten their axe anyway. And now because of those extra kills, they'll finish off the second racks. They might want to challenge for these mid ones too. They know that the Global Silence is not ready. They know that the cooldown is not ready.
With AC finished on the Shadow Fiend, I can see nothing but them walking high ground here. The minus armor, the tankiness. Shadow Fiend with, 200, 360 damage, whatever it is, 1 million damage. Can actually just stand here and tank it. Takes down melee. And is he afraid, the Snowball? Oh, they could try and... Nope, doesn't land. There we go, Snowball returns. Didn't hit, but still, ended. So the Snowball will come back in. The cooldown on top of Miracle's head. He's just continue fighting through it with a Requiem punched in the air. but his mech and BKB have already been used up here. He's stuck on the wrong side of the fissure. The blink forward, Moon Meander hits a crit into Yapzor. Night Stalker dropping low, but too late now. Turn and fight from Miracle. We'll take one after another. Ends with a triple kill, and GG is cool. That's it, they tap out. Monkey Freedom Fighters, one game down here as Monkey Business. That's what's up.
Just a reminder, because I need to bring it up again. This Shadow Fiend was 0-3 at about 5 minutes into the game. Shadow Fiend is just, it's not the hero you shut down with a few early ganks, and I've seen it time and time again. That's just, you have to have a more sustained way of shutting down a Shadow Fiend if your plan to deal with it is by keeping it down. It can't just be those first few minutes.